All right, guys. San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan is headed to Arizona to be the next head coach, which opens up San Jose State. So hopefully this is the last domino. It seems to be, because I don't see a head coach from a D1 school getting hired here from an FBS level. So domino should be coming to a close here, but I've got about 10 candidates here for you that San Jose State might be interested in. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you who I think they will hire and who I would hire. So let's go ahead and dive into it, shall we? All right, so they've actually got more interesting names than I thought they would have. It's going to be hard for you to – you're probably not going to be able to pull an FBS sitting head coach. That's probably not going to happen. So if you want a sitting head coach, you're probably going to have to go to the lower levels. But you've got some interesting names here. Let's go ahead and get into it. First off, Alonzo Carter, San Jose State not head coach, running backs coach. Has a lot of ties, is probably one of the best recruiters in the area, particularly for San Jose State. So you could definitely keep your team intact if you keep Alonzo Carter. Like I said, those recruiting ties he has to the area are pretty strong from what I've heard from sources that are further out on that coast. So it sounds like he's pretty good at recruiting and can definitely pull in the area. Also, he has experience and success as a head coach at other levels, junior college level, high school level. So he's definitely a winning head coach. Next up, another guy in staff, Eric Scott, wide receivers coach for San Jose State. Also similar to Carter, all right, has won at the high school level as a head coach. He's kind of been around the block a little bit. He was the receivers coach at UCLA way back when, been a receivers coach at Nevada. So this is another route you go if you want to keep those guys as far as your team intact. Next up, Brennan Marion, UNLV offense coordinator. I've seen his name associated with a few of these group of 5 jobs this offseason. Also seen him associated with the Iowa offense coordinator opening. So he's definitely looking to be on the move. He was with, I think, the Nevada head coaching search. He got an interview, I believe. So he's definitely interested in moving up. Not a bad hire. He's also been at Texas as the passing game coordinator. Does have a pretty good offense. So wouldn't be a bad hire for San Jose State, I think. Next up, Nick Rolovich, former Washington State head coach and Hawaii head coach. He got fired from Washington State back in COVID for, I don't know, whatever COVID reasons. I don't really know. So I don't know if you want to touch that right now with a 10-foot pole, as far as the issues he had there and how the circumstances he got fired. Not necessarily the circumstances, but I think him and his staff sued the school. So I don't really know if you want to get involved with that. So he's probably not a realistic option, but he is a name I've seen thrown around a little bit. All right, next up, an interesting name here, Niumatalolo, if I can say that right. UCLA tight ends coach. You may remember him being the Navy head coach. Won a lot of ball games at Navy, actually. Now, towards the end of his tenure there, it kind of went downhill. But at the beginning, until those last, I think, 4 years, he was really successful at Navy. Wouldn't be a bad head coaching hire, probably, at San Jose State. Next up, Donte Williams, currently the Georgia D-backs coach, was the defensive passing game coordinator at USC, also has coached at San Jose State, so does have those ties here, which usually when I'm making these lists, I'll look for guys that have ties to the school. There's not too many options on here that really have any ties, but Donte Williams is definitely an intriguing option. If you can pull a guy from Georgia, while he hasn't coached at Georgia just yet, he just got hired there. If you can pull a Georgia coach, usually it's pretty good. Look at Frmr, for example, at Syracuse. Next up, Kirby Moore, Missouri offense coordinator. This is Kellen Moore's little brother. Was the candidate in the Nevada head coaching search, I'm told. Really has done pretty good at Missouri. You saw what Missouri did this season. He's the OC there, really has got them turned around, and Missouri's trending up, probably a top 10 team, preseason team next year. Kirby Moore, definitely an intriguing option. He's got ties to the area, played at Boise State, coached at Fresno State, I believe, before he was in Missouri. So definitely has ties to the area and has proven to be good. And if you can pull a Power 5 coordinator, usually you're doing pretty good at San Jose State. So look, for example, last time Brennan they hired from Oregon State, he was their offense coordinator. If you can pull Missouri's offense coordinator, you're not doing bad. So these next few names, like I said, if you dive to the FCS levels, you might see that happen as well. First off, Jason Eck, Idaho head coach, has won really pretty consistently at Idaho. At least this season, they won, I think, 9 games, beat Nevada, and is, from what I've heard, is eager to get up to the FBS level. Now, sometimes you'll see guys leave that FCS job to go be a Power 5 coordinator or something. You'll see that happen at certain times. So he's obviously eager, from what I've heard, to get to the FBS level. Next up, Brent Vigen, Montana State head coach. Similar situation as Eck, has won at Montana State. is eager to get to the FBS level. I've seen his name associated with a couple of the jobs this offseason. So definitely seems like he's ready to move up. Next up, last on this list, Jay Hill, BYU defense coordinator, former Weber State head coach. Okay, so this is an example of what I'm talking about. He was the head coach at Weber State, did pretty good there, couldn't get the job he was looking for, so decided to move up, be a Power 5 coordinator. Maybe that's better for, his long-term success as far as potentially getting a better gig as far as a head coaching job is concerned. So Jay Hill, BYU defense coordinator, like I said, Weber State head coach, won ball games at Weber State. Definitely an interesting option. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this list a little bit. All right, so the first thing I'm going to cross off here, I think if you go in-house, I think you got to go with the other option here. So I don't think Eric Scott is going to get this job. Now, he may get promoted to offense coordinator or something. You could see that happening, but I don't see him getting this job. All right, next thing I'm going to cross off this list, Nick Rolovich. He's another one with the legal issues going on right now. I don't think you really want to dive into that right now. And it's not like he won that much at Washington State anyway to really warrant that, All right, next thing I'm going to cross off here, excuse me. All right, it's Ken. All right. I have seen his name thrown around. I don't know how realistic it is, but it sounds like he's ready to get back into the head coaching position. All right, he is at UCLA right now, but has been not Power 5, has been a FBS head coach before, has won ball games at Navy. So definitely, could be an interesting option, but I don't think he gets this one. Next thing I'm going to cross off here, Kirby Moore. If you could pull Kirby Moore, heck yeah, props to you, but I don't think he leaves for this job. I feel like he's going to hold out for a better position. If he runs it back in Missouri, has a successful year next year, you could see him get a better opportunity probably. All right, so next thing we're going to mark off here is Jay Hill. Similar to Kirby Moore, I feel like he's probably going to hold out until he can get a better job, or one that fits him more. So I think he'll hold out, but don't be surprised if he gets an interview. All right, so the next name I'm going to cross off here, Brent Vigen, Montana State head coach. Don't be surprised if they do go the FCS route, but I'm going to go ahead and mark off Eck as well. I don't think they go the FCS route here because I think they have better options. Usually you'll see them go that route if you don't have a very good option, but I think they do have some better options. Next name I'm going to cross off, Brennan Marion, UNLV OC. All right, so he is getting his foot in the door, so I do expect him to be a head coaching candidate probably next offseason as well, especially if he goes to Iowa to be the OC. But I don't think just yet because I think you have two better options here. All right, so the final two options we've got here, you can see Alonzo Carter, running backs coach, Donte Williams, Georgia D-backs coach. Both of these I think would be pretty good hires. Alonzo Carter, if you go that route, you've got a guy that has had head coaching experience, not the FBS level, but has won ball games as a head coach before. Also can really recruit the area and kind of keep that team intact. Or if you go with Donte Williams, you're bringing in a guy that wants to see San Jose State win. He's coached there before, will be coming back home per se. And he's a Georgia DBs coach, USC coach. He can definitely recruit. He can pull in guys. He's got connections. Maybe pull in that lower 4-star that he couldn't quite get in at Georgia or USC, bring him with him. Definitely a possibility. So I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these options. From what I've seen, though, it sounds like they're probably going to go in-house. So I think they're going to go with Alonzo Carter. So who do I think they'll hire? Alonzo Carter. Who would I hire? I'll probably go Donte Williams. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these guys, but Donte Williams intrigues me because we look at, for example, Frmr at Syracuse, former Georgia DBs coach. He's pulling guys in the recruiting cycle and transfer portal. So you could get a similar situation to that where you get guys at San Jose State that normally wouldn't go there. But either way, though, this is a pretty intriguing list. Like I said, whenever I put this together, it was better names than I thought it would be originally. Because figure out, San Jose State, you're usually not going to pull that many guys, but these aren't really bad options on this list. But who do you think they hire and who would you hire? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.